What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the Get It Right Saturday Night Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Francis, here with the full crew today, coming in from all over. We got Colin Fursley,
Hey, what's up?
we got Oscar Morale,
Hey guys, how you doing?
and making his once in 2 months return every 2 months, making it annual. I mean, this is a bi-monthly thing, guys, or hopefully it's Marco Neto.
What's up, guys?
We're glad to have you on the pod this week, and we've got some exciting stuff to talk about. So let's get right into it.
Yes, sir. Mark, you want to start it off?
Yeah. So just some interesting news coming in from the golf world over here. Tiger Woods will be playing in his first tournament of the year at the Genesis Invitational. I wish he was playing the Waste Management, which is happening this week. One of the most electric and exciting tournaments of the whole PGA Tour that's on the calendar. But we're glad to see Tiger Woods back as well. And the Live Golf World, just some news. Their first event of the season happened back last week in Cabo, Mexico, where Joaquin Niemann actually won the tournament. Unfortunately, was tied with Sergio Perez, went to playoffs and beat him. And today, playing in Vegas, pretty interesting. Vegas, Live Golf, Vegas, Super Bowl.
Very interesting stuff there, Mark.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing. I know the viewers love golf. Such an
I
exciting
hope,
sport.
especially Mommy Francis.
It's really
All right.
exciting to see how this expansion league has just taken over so easily. I mean, money talks, we know that, but so
Oh yeah.
easily it's taken so much viewership from a storied tour like the PGA, and just I think it's exciting. I think monopolizing something, maybe it works for the NBA, the NFL, but with something international like golf, um, I think this is great for the sport. I'm excited to see where it goes. So
I,
thanks
I,
for
I would
sharing, Mark.
I would have to agree with you. I mean, the people that don't know how live really works, these players signed for millions of dollars and they still have access to win a set amount of money in every tournament's purse. So one way or another, they're not gonna go broke for playing trash golf because they signed the $40 million deal minimum or something like that. So pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. A lot of people have different views about it, especially Rory McIlroy, always a hater.
Hey, man. He seems to be coming around a little bit though as of late. He's like
Yeah, I
a
like I
little more
like
chill
Rory
on.
though. I like.
Yeah,
It's my
Rory's the
boy.
guy. Absolutely. Well, anyway, moving on to the main portion of this beautiful podcast. We will start off with the NBA trade deadline. So it just happened yesterday. Well, for us it was yesterday. It was on Thursday. And it wasn't a huge trade deadline, wasn't super exciting, not a lot of stuff went on, but there were some interesting trades of note
Well,
that we can talk
the
about.
the biggest trades happen, before the deadline, Colin. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with you that at the
Yeah.
deadline it was a bit of an underwhelming year this year.
Yeah. So let's start it off with the Philadelphia 76ers. They just lost Joel Embiid to an injury for the foreseeable future. So they wanted more offense. They decided to get Buddy Hield from the Indiana Pacers, and they gave up a lot of um, things to get that. But it was also a three-way trade with the Spurs.
Yep.
Marcus Morris gets sent over there, and the Pacers get Doug McDermott from them. So very interesting trade. Oscar, what do you think about it? Do you think this would help? Do you think this will help the Sixers? Think it was the right move?
Here's the thing, man. The Sixers, they're solely dependent on Embiid, and we know that Embiid is a health liability. So, I mean, does it help the team out? Yeah, it does. I mean, Hield's a great player. But here's my thing. I think they gave up too much for Buddy
Yeah.
Hield.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
it's not even the players that they gave up via the Spurs or the Sixers, but it's just the picks, man. I mean, it's 2 second-round picks and cash considerations. I guess. I mean, I feel like it could have been done either way. Either you give up the player or you give up the picks. I think both is just too much. Whoever the GM at the Pacers is did a good job squeezing as much as they could out of Buddy Hield, and it's definitely going out and celebrating with the boys tonight or last night, I guess. Um,
Yeah, that's true. I feel like they lost a lot of defense though. I feel like they don't have really defensive oriented team. Um, Buddy
you
Hield
talk
doesn't really
about
provide that. The
the
Sixers. Talking about the
Sixers, right?
Sixers.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was about to say.
Yeah. So that's what I
Yeah, I
think.
think
Mark, you have any Oh, Marco, go ahead.
no, just super quick. I think just looking at it, I'm gonna side with I think it's the consensus, but particularly what you said, Oscar, about I think people continue to discount what a second round pick can do for a franchise. Just because you're not a blue chip first day guy, or I mean first round rather, um, doesn't mean that doesn't that can't shift the tide in a program or give like a new piece. Um, and I mean I would just venture to say that yeah, it is a little bit of a top heavy deal. It is a great player, but like
Look, I mean,
regardless of everything,
great. Like, are we saying Buddy Hield is great? I mean, he's a
I
good
wouldn't say
player,
he's in
but
the
yeah.
great.
He's a decent player.
I wouldn't say he's in the great category. I'm not saying that their
No, don't get
offering is
me
that crazy either, but
right.
it
Yeah,
is a
no,
it is a
absolutely
nice
not. But
chunk. It is a nice chunk of a nice mixture of picks. I don't care if they're scrubs or LeBron James. Two players, two picks, and cash. It's top
well,
heavy.
technically, from the Sixers' point of view, it's a player and two picks, which I
Right.
guess kind of justifies it a little more. But
No,
either
it's two
way,
players. No, wait, didn't they? It was
from
Marcus
the
Morris.
from the
What?
Sixers' point of view,
The Sixers lost to Marcus Morris and Furkan Korkmaz. So it was two
well,
players.
yeah, but I'm saying they give the Pacers one player and two picks because I guess as in terms of playoffs push, they might see the Pacers in the playoffs, so they're gonna have Buddy.
I think we're gonna see the Pacers in the playoffs.
So it might be a thing where the trade might result in actually having implications in the playoffs. Whereas the one to the Spurs, I really don't think. You know, the Morris twins, they're veterans at this point in the league. And I think they provide that veteran role, and I think you can get that from quite a few guys in the league. Um, not saying that he's disposable or anything like that, but there's definitely not a rarity to the role he provides in
Mhm.
the 76ers. So, yeah, I feel like they can definitely get that back. Whereas the picks, like Marco was saying, even though they're second round picks, you never know. I mean, look at Jokic, man. Look at Jokic.
Jokic.
Jokic, the Joker.
Big
That
boy
is true.
watching horse racing and Clash of Clans before the games. He is, yeah. That's all I gotta say. I think he's a man of few words, and I have few words for him.
But
So
yeah, man, no blockbuster trades, man. Nothing really to talk
Yeah.
about.
I
Well,
I
another
don't
one. Oh, Mark, go ahead.
I don't think this trade was necessary. I mean, I'm gonna be so honest. I feel like the 76ers need to reconsider what they're aiming towards for right now and see how their team really is playing. I mean, Joel Embiid, yeah, I mean he's the former MVP and um
He's out for
he
4 months, I
he's
believe.
out
Yeah,
because he whatever injury he got, right? Meniscus or something.
yeah, I
But
believe it was left meniscus. So
But I mean, this team can't give up so much if they want to make a playoff push. Like this team is not gonna win the finals this year. They're not gonna make it to the finals. They're giving up too much. They need to get into a rebuild. I think is what the Sixers need to
well,
do
I
right
don't
now.
I don't think the Sixers need a rebuild, but they definitely need to structure the team in a bit better manner. And I think, and this might be a controversial take, but I think the Harden idea wasn't a bad idea. I mean,
I
maybe specifically Harden himself might have not been the best player, but to
I don't
have a
think
star,
Harden wanted to be there. I mean,
well,
he
he
just
did
didn't.
initially, he did,
when you have a
but
guy like James Harden, he
yeah,
plays with apathy if he doesn't want to be there. He's
yeah,
still a stud. We know that.
Yeah,
it's just Harden can be a bit of a cancer, a plague, whatever you want to call it. I really don't want to get into that. We don't really know what happens behind closed doors in the NBA. But what we do know is Harden likes to move a lot, especially when he's unhappy. So I think maybe Harden wasn't the right pick. But if you look back, I mean, this is a big maybe now. If you look back to when the trade was actually done, they could have gotten Jalen Brunson. That was around the time when Jalen Brunson moved from the Mavs after his playoff series with the Mavs in 2022 to the New York Knicks.
yeah.
So I think you could have paired a guy like Brunson, and we see how he's developed into a star player today, and you pair him up with Joel Embiid. That's a winning formula for the 76ers, and that could be something scary, man. When you have a star guard that can handle the ball, create offensive chances, and is a good pick and roll player, the same way Jalen Brunson is. Shout out Mr. Baker. He could be really scary with Embiid. So
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think their
Yeah.
idea was correct in acquiring a guy like Harden. And look, they even pushed the Boston Celtics to 7
Yeah.
without Embiid in all of those games last year. So their formula was right, right? It's just the execution was a little off. And I think, I don't know, they're a bit in
They,
limbo right now. They're
they should
misguided. They should retry that formula again.
they should reconsider the people they have on their team, and you know, it's like this team has such a star player, and I don't think there's any way that Joel Embiid is entirely satisfied with the way the Sixers are. I mean, I just I don't see him being there much longer unless he gets what he wants with this team, which is get people around him so they can make a finals push and hopefully bring a trophy back to Philly. The Sixers have always been an interesting organization.
Oh, for sure. They've always had great
Yeah,
star talent too. Always, always,
but
always.
but
You know,
on
Yeah, I don't
looking back,
remember a last sequence where they didn't have at least one or two prominent guys that were
yeah,
bolstering
I
their
mean, the
roster.
last time they were a little bit like in contention that didn't really have a star player was when Andre Iguodala played for them. But before that, you had Allen Iverson. Before that, you had Charles Barkley, Moses
Dr. J.
Malone,
yeah,
Dr. J. Like they have a history of having good competitive teams, man. But
but
it's
but
just go ahead. Sorry.
also looking at it from the Pacers side as well, the Pacers have been playing well. I mean, they're sixth in the East right now as we speak, and they just got some nice assets. They got some nice picks. They got cash consideration, and they got two players that they could utilize. I mean, look, the Pacers are a team that shouldn't be super slept on anymore, and they kind of remind me of the Heat a few years back when we were a 6 seed or whatever, and we'd win some nice games, but lose some sad ones and embarrassing ones. But I think the Sixers did well with this. I think so. But if there's one thing I wanna mention about the NBA, which like honestly this really like I severely dislike this. Okay, it's 2024 and they're trading 2029 picks. Okay, like I get it. Like you want to trade a pick, but honestly, I feel like there should be a limit on how far teams should go with how far ahead they can trade a pick. Like 2029, like 2029, like Bryce James is gonna be Bronny's already gonna be in the league for like 4 years. Bryce James will be in the league. I mean,
But well, Mark, 2029 is not that far away. We're
Well,
already in
I
2024.
would say that
but
this
I
has
mean
been
it's
going around for a long time. I remember being in fifth, sixth grade, like just after we were buddies in the Sandlot, and I remember seeing
The Sandlot days.
like 2020, like a 2020, and this is like 2016. I was like, dude, that's pretty far. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, an asset is an asset, and this it will.
Hey, I like that
Even
one. I was still that quote. An asset is an asset.
if you look at this in a balance sheet perspective, hate to get all accounting on you, but you know you can put this pick away. It's going to be in your balance sheet, and when 2029 comes around, you're like, oh shoot, I have a cheeky little pick that we got back in the day. Um,
yeah. I mean, no, I
cars
mean that makes
when
total
cars were
sense.
still on the ground and planes were in the air. So you know what I mean?
I mean that
Um,
makes sense. I just it's not something that it's going to be so intriguing. But then yeah, basically in 5 years time that 2029 second round pick that they traded for in 2024 turns out to be the next LeBron James or something like that, or the next prodigy. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, that's just something I thought I'd comment on. It's pretty
sure.
interesting, and
No, it's true. Sometimes it seems like you know some of these things are with moves in different leagues and stuff, you want everything to be more narrow sided. You want it to be more, um, I guess I would say, more relevant to the team you have right now. I mean, in in this day and age in sports, we're talking about the NBA in particular. Like the chances that the same nucleus starting five is on such a team in 2029 is highly unlikely.
Oh, I doubt
So
it. I
that
thought it's even possible. I doubt there'd even
so
be one player left, honestly.
so that's why it's a unique opportunity, I guess, that kind of like a time capsule type of thing. Like who knows what players have been produced based on picks from a long time ago. Again, an
Of
asset is
course.
an asset. They needed this with this trade, I guess, to secure Buddy. So it is what it is.
Good
Yeah,
on,
that's
good
true.
on, good on the Pacers.
And there was another trade that went down that was pretty interesting. A really good team already. They've been exceeding all expectations. And that is the Oklahoma City Thunder. And they try to improve their team,
OKC.
and they go out and they get Gordon Hayward from the Hornets. And they give back Trey Mann, Davis Bertans, 2 second-round picks as well. Second-round picks have been flying off the shelves these days, cash.
Yeah.
These ones are a
So
little more nearsighted though. The next
You
two
know
players.
what?
that is
But you
true.
know what? This is the only time I will say where the organization has the capital to do this. Because you look at the Thunder, man. If you look
That's
at
true.
how many picks
Yeah.
the
They have
Thunder have,
15,
it's
7, I think it's
yeah,
19
it's
picks.
no, it's an obscene amount of
Wait,
picks.
19 picks for when? Sorry.
Up until 2029. There's some. They, oh, they
They
yeah
could
they have a
fill out
they have a
they
crazy
could
amount of
fill out
picks.
basically almost 2 rosters with the amount of picks that they have. So I think this is the only time where you can look at a good role player, former All-Star that you kind of want to get on your team to try to make a push and get the young guys, your young core on the team, some valuable
They have
experience from a veteran player.
37 picks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could almost make 2 rosters with the amount of picks that they have. So, um,
That's crazy.
so you get a player like this, Gordon Hayward. This is very minimal trade off. I think the Thunder. I mean, obviously both teams. This is a rare scenario where both teams win, just in the sheer volume of what the Hornets received for one player, and then what the Thunder received in Gordon Hayward for their team. I mean, great trade for them.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
and
I think they need some
you
veteran
know what's
presence
crazy?
there.
You know what's crazy? I'm looking at this right now. They still have all their own first round picks. 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027,
Because that's what
2028.
you'll see. They don't dish
And they
out
have
their
the
their their
Clippers
their,
first
their
round
picks.
picks. They own they I mean,
Because, well, I'll tell you
this is
why.
insane.
Their GM and their front office has been incredible. I mean,
I mean
very
this has
very
been
immaculate,
beautiful.
especially
Beautiful.
when blowing up Russ, KG, and Melo. I mean, not KG. Russ, Paul George, and Melo, PG and Melo. And afterwards, even with Chris Paul flipping him into a very useful asset, gaining a ton of picks. People forget Chris Paul was there for a year in the bubble. And
Yeah.
flipping him after his bubble performance to the Suns. Yeah, to the
Yeah,
Yeah.
Suns
Yeah.
for
that
a
is true.
great return. So
That's
they
true.
took a lot of star players who were aging. I mean, still star players, but aging stars, and got an insane
They're
amount of
building
return.
a great young core with
Oh, great!
experience from veteran. I mean, yeah,
It's scary.
aren't
It's a
they the
scary.
best team
Yeah.
in
I
the West right now?
No, second to the
I
Timberwolves.
haven't
Who would
really
have
been
thought? But
following them recently as an organization, but I can agree with from a general managing standpoint, like what you're saying, Oscar, cannot be, you know, more correct. I mean, for you to be able to leverage an old star for as long as you need him,
Oh,
and
of
then be able to
course.
convert that into future stars rather than junk players, for example,
oh, for
like
sure.
if you're pick hunting in that sense, like that can be more valuable long term than a couple Scribinis. You know what I mean? Like I
And
feel like the Heat have this kind of style of acquiring um
oh, for sure.
more
The
so intangibles than physical players in trades. The Heat don't really trade players that much, at least in my opinion. Like we don't get
well,
that many like maybe like a one-off guy like Jimmy or when we got Kyle Lowry, but like all the other role players are from the draft. So I mean, we got
Yeah,
Tyler
or
Hero,
well,
even
Cam,
undrafted.
that could
Or
John
that could
undrafted.
Collins.
be that could be argued, but what I'm more interested in is the ability. There are certain teams in the league we see but their front office, their scouting offices, whoever's in charge behind the scenes in these teams, some of them know how to identify talent and
Yeah.
draft them, and other teams have no clue what they're doing. They just look at the numbers and see
Ready?
whatever looks
Ready
fit.
to hear this?
And the Thunder, even going back to the days of the Supersonics, have been very good at doing this. You look at
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and now they got a new young trio just like that. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams. Like,
They in the next 3 years, so 2024,
Ray Allen.
2025, 2026, they have 10 first round picks alone. First round picks. 10. That is insanity. That is ridiculous. I
Like, you
mean,
have to bench legitimately good guys because you're oversaturated with talent.
Yeah.
but
No,
then
but
it's so good
it's
because
you can just trade
then
it
they
away for more.
they
yeah.
traded away for more, and you keep building a crazy team every year, a crazy team, and then boom, you're championship bound.
I really like Shai Gilgeous. I think he's a
I do too.
fantastic player. I think that was a fantastic,
Incredible player. Like, honestly, incredible player. No ball knowledge. If you look at some of his takes online, they're pretty atrocious, but absolutely incredible player on the basketball court.
Yeah, he puts up numbers. I think Chet's going to be special. Chet, just like Wemby, personal opinion, needs to put on the solid 50. But I think
Yeah, I
he's
agree.
Bro, 50 pounds? Calm down.
Bro, this guy's gotta go to McDonald's every night, man. This guy's gotta get a. You guys see that double Big Mac? He better get 4 double Big Macs. Load those suckers up with 2 large French fries and then a Shamrock Shake.
Shamrock shake.
Oh man.
Chet, Wemby, if you guys are listening, load up, lock in.
Now
Listen,
for probably one of the. Oh, go ahead. Finish this off.
I may be decently not huge, okay? But if I know
like
one
that.
thing, yesterday I messed up a Big Mac and a quarter pounder with cheese, fries, and a shake. And if I could do that, Chet, you better gosh darn bunch down 4 times as me, bro.
And you still weigh 100 pounds. Anyway,
Oh,
going on to the next
130.
trade. 130.
Whatever. The Lakers still need a center.
Yeah. Well, one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now also made a trade that Oscar, you had an interesting take on it. Something about their depth. The New York Knicks. What do you think of
God,
this
I
trade that they
hate the
made?
Knicks.
I had no idea the Knicks were good until this morning. So, enlighten me.
I hate the Knicks.
Well,
I just know Jalen Brunson is an
This
absolute
is-
father figure to many people in the Big Apple. So,
look, as much as it pains me to say this, and again, shout out to Mr. Baker. I've been discussing a lot with him recently on the topic of the Knicks. You know, he's a bit of a Knicks connoisseur or savant, whatever you might want to call it. Yeah. Well, the point is, the Knicks have been very good this year, and we've seen slowly, and this goes to what I said earlier. You know, some of the biggest trades that we've seen this season: Harden to the Clippers, Siakam to the Pacers, and OG Anunoby to the Knicks have been before the trade deadline, and specifically that OG trade. If you look at the record pre-OG, the record post-OG, it's honestly very scary. I think they're 14-2 post OG. They've lost 2 games.
Yeah, no, they're insane. I think they are 14-2. You're right.
So it's just an absolute madness. The difference, a good, a good defensive wing can make for you, in a player like OG, and then they've just been adding to their depth on the bench, and it's scary, man, because they're very deep. They're like 10 men deep. Bogdanovich, amazing player. What a shooter. I mean, lights out shooter.
Yeah, 20 points per game.
Oh, yeah, no.
I've
There's a
always
crazy
loved
stat
Bogdanovich.
that I don't remember right now that I read about him being like a conversation with like 6 other like insane all-star players, and he's like the only role player on that list. But the point is, they're very deep. Here's the thing. Here's my issue with the New York Knicks. They have a very big problem. Like, huge problem.
First round exits every year.
No. Well, yes, but the reason is
Spike Lee's still sitting courtside.
no. Their huge problem is named Julius Randle. As long as that guy's on the team, he's limiting you in what you can do on both sides
I
of the
like that
ball.
take. I agree with that.
Because he's a fringe all-star. I mean, he's made 2 All-NBA teams in the last 3 years, but when it comes down to it, he's not a player you can depend on the playoffs at all. His game is very one-sided. He runs through ISOs. Most of his game runs through ISOs, and not in a healthy way. Not like Jalen Brunson, who runs off the pick and roll and who can facilitate afterwards. But Julius Randle has to do post-ups, mid-range pull-ups, and then occasionally he'll pull up from 3. But he's not an effective player, and he can be very easily guarded by the elite 4s and 5s of this league, and he will be a liability for you. So I think this saying is one of the best sayings, and it applies to things outside of basketball too. But you're only as good as your weakest link. And in terms of role players, yeah, they're not as good as Julius Randle, but they have very good role players. So that's not their weakest link. Their weakest link is Julius Randle. And as long as he's on that team, they're very limited to what they can do in the playoffs. You want to talk about the regular season? Great. They might even end up with a 2 seed. But when it gets down to it and the game slows down, Julius Randle's going to be a problem, man.
I agree. Playoff basketball is different. Playoff sports is different. Okay, I mean, the perfect example of this is the Miami Heat last year. Bro, we were a play-in team and we made a push to the finals. Guys, anything can happen in the playoffs. I don't care if you're and the year before we were the first seed. Remember that we were the first seed and got swept.
Well, no,
By
we did not get swept.
No, we
No,
did
we
not
did
get
not.
swept. We
We
lost
got
in
to the
Game
conference
7 of the Eastern
finals.
Conference
Yeah,
Finals.
with Jimmy's almost legendary shot.
No. But
He's
that
talking
but
about you're talking about 2021 where we got
yeah.
gentlemen
Because
swept
that
by
that
the
year was when we
well,
were the first seed and we did get
No,
swept.
no, we
no,
were not the first seed.
we were like the 4th seed, I
No,
believe.
we
Yeah.
were the first seed. We were. Hold on.
No, we weren't, Mark.
Wait,
Hold on, I
is that the
know
one with
this.
is that the
No
one against
ball.
the Bucks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Hold
saying
on.
when we got swept against the Bucks, we were
Was
the
it
Dude, that
swept
was
or
in the
gentlemen swept?
that was in the
But
Eastern Conference Final. That was at the end.
no,
no,
but
no.
either
We're
way,
talking about Mark is talking about
Guys,
something
no.
different.
That was 2021, 2022. We were the first seed.
yeah,
No,
and we
yeah,
got to the
yes, and
conference
we got
finals
yeah, we lost Game 7 in the conference finals to the
in
to the
Miami.
Celtics.
Oh,
To the
you're right.
Celtics.
My
Yeah.
fault.
No,
Hey, it
wrong
still
knowledge.
doesn't
Wrong
matter. We're the
knowledge.
first seed. We were the
Hey,
first seed.
like I said, you only tune into this podcast for information from me and Oscar. Mark Francis isn't going to give you anything accurate, okay? We've already established this.
And that's why I've officially submitted my resignation.
Oh man. All right, well, now we are going to get into the NFL section of this podcast.
Thank God.
We're about everyone guys. Bum, 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 bum. Okay.
Let's go, Blaster!
Oh my god.
Mine's
Okay.
football, baby. Undefeated.
Well, anyway,
Except in the
we're
championship.
Biggest
we're
game
about
of
to get
football in the year.
well,
Pain.
before that, we're about to get into something real that can potentially be real controversial. And we've had many debates over this topic that have lasted for hours on end on this podcast. So let's try to keep it a little shorter. Specifically, Mark and Oscar, please don't argue. The NFL Honors was on Thursday, and all of the end of year NFL awards were awarded. And there has been some controversy, obviously, with who should have won each award, like MVP, Comeback Player of the Year. But I think, honestly, they got a lot of it right. So here's the list
Yeah.
of the end of season awards. Start with the MVP. It goes to Lamar Jackson. No surprise there, although I still personally think it should have been Christian McCaffrey. But, I mean, he's a quarterback, so you give it to the quarterback. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I guess
I'm just happy it's not Josh Allen because I I just don't care. I'm just happy it's not Josh Allen. I don't care if you give it to Deshaun Watson, bro. Most valuable pedophile, take it. MVP. I don't care. No,
All right.
I think they got it right, and I'm not gonna argue with them about that.
Look, I
Should
don't
have
know
been
if they got
unanimous.
everything. I don't know if they got everything right. I will say that Lamar's
No,
a
they got
stud.
this right. They got this right.
Yeah, I will say Lamar's a stud. I think he's doing good.
Yeah.
Hey,
Second MVP. Relatively young guy. A lot of people don't realize that he's still
Yeah,
in his 20s.
27.
26, 27. He's done a lot with this franchise, and he's finally getting the pieces that he needs. Even though he choked at the end there, I really do like Zay Flowers. I think that he's a stud. I like Odell. I don't think he's washed yet. I think that Lamar will continue having success in that Ravens program.
I hope so. I really do.
completely agree. I think all the awards that are currently on screen, I completely agree with. I think they got it right. I called Houston Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud getting Offensive Rookie of the Year. I remember we talked about this, and I think I also said MVP would go to Lamar, defensive would go to Myles Garrett. I mean, yeah, I think so far from what I'm seeing on screen, I agree with all of it, and I think they made the right pick.
One thing that I saw that this was very controversial all over social media since the awards ceremony, was Myles Garrett winning Defensive Player of the Year over T.J. Watt. Is it?
I don't disagree with it.
I don't disagree with it either. But is it possible if we pull up the defensive stats between those two?
Yeah, what stats? Like sacks? I know TJ
Uh,
Watt led the league in sacks.
I don't know. It's just like basic defensives. Hold on. Let me see. Myles Garrett. I want to see where people are getting their argument from. Like I'm not.
The argument mark for TJ Watt is essentially that without him, the Steelers don't make a push for the playoffs, and they have their first losing season.
Okay, I got some stats here. All right, sacks: T.J. Watt 19, Myles Garrett 17. Okay, T.J. Watt leads him. All right, whatever. It's 2 sacks. Batted passes: T.J. Watt 6, Myles Garrett 3. Forced fumbles: they both have 4. Fumble recoveries: T.J. Watt 3, Myles Garrett 1. Tackles for loss: T.J. Watt 19, Myles Garrett 17. Pass rush win rate, which is what I think
Is one of the
was the
most important
defying.
statistics.
Yeah,
for a
this is
team
what
like
was
that.
the defying factor for this. T.J. Watt had 16.2% pass rush win rate. Myles Garrett had a 27.8%.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Drastic.
how many
That's
interceptions did they have?
Yeah, so we're getting there. So passes defended: T.J. Watt had 8, Myles Garrett had 3.
Okay, but you don't got to go through all of them.
Okay, there's only 2 more, bro. Wait. Interceptions: T.J. Watt 1, Myles Garrett 0. And defensive touchdowns: T.J. Watt 1, Myles Garrett 0. I don't know. Maybe they're right. I don't know.
The argument is without TJ Watt, which is true, the Steelers don't make the push at the end of the season to get into the playoffs and have a winning record. However, with everything that the Cleveland Browns dealt with, their captain, their leader in the locker room was Myles Garrett until Joe Flacco got there, and he was the one.
I don't know.
And
Yeah,
he
but
was the one.
this is not
isn't
about
about the team.
intangible stuff.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
about the
about the
player.
stats.
I
Yeah.
think Myles Garrett was a better defensive player than TJ Watt this year.
And this is what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
Myles Garrett was the one who made sure, and the stats show it, which is what I'm saying, that team stayed competitive and good, even though
This
Nick
isn't a
Chubb
team
went down.
award though. That's
Even
the thing.
though I know, but it's their performance on how they impacted their team does help though. It's Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
again, compared to the stats, maybe T.J. Watt should have taken it, but I don't
Being
know.
No, I
I'm
think
completely
not.
that
honest,
I mean,
I don't think it's any surprise that I didn't watch a whole lot of football this year, but I from what the things that I saw, especially on Sports Center, I really thought that TJ Watt was a stud.
Yeah.
He was a stud this year. I didn't see enough Myles Garrett to give a good opinion, but I think either way, they're both that's not taken away from the fact that TJ Watt is, top 2, top 3 in the league. He's still a
Yeah.
stud. If this is just a label, he's still getting dumb bread and he's still one of the best. So at the
I
end of the
think
day,
this award is always one of the weirdest to give out because there's so
not
many
true.
different ways at looking at how good a player was defensively.
a lot of metrics.
And I I think I would lean towards T.J. Watt here, but again, T.J. Watt
Hmm.
always gets robbed. But whatever. Miles Garrett
He
deserved it.
he won
He was a
Defensive Player
stud.
of the Year last year. What do you mean he gets
Yeah, but
robbed? Okay, so what are you
And
talking
then,
about?
I'm
and
just
then the
saying.
year before that, Nick Bosa. I mean, we have seen linemen.
Yeah, it's been mostly pass rushers, but I think as a defensive player, I think Miles Garrett was better than T.J. Watt, in my opinion. Well, out of all the awards shown on the
Well, I mean,
screen, the
as you
betting
say,
favorites to won, the betting favorites have won all of them except Defensive Rookie of the Year. Jalen Carter was favored to win this award, and it still ended up going to Will Anderson Jr., which means for the second year in a row, Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year, both players were on the same team. So
that's
that's pretty
wonderful.
interesting.
Pretty
Texans had a
cool.
great draft.
What do we think of? What do we think of comeback player of the year going to Joe Flacco and coach of the year going to Kevin Stefanski?
Well, okay, let's go Coach of the Year first. It's on the screen. So
Yeah,
Kevin Stefanski, um, he did a great job. I don't
yeah,
think he shouldn't have gotten the award, but when
yeah,
you have other guys like Dan Campbell
yeah.
who
That's exactly.
led his
I
Dan
think.
Campbell
team,
was the first name that came to mind when you said
Yeah,
that. I was like,
yeah.
he really to
He
yeah,
uproot
he
out a
turned this
program in
team
a
around. I
city like
think it
that.
should have been Dan Campbell, or it could have been D'Amico Ryans. Uh,
yeah.
I
I
mean,
will say though, two things I'm surprised with, just with the nominees. There were two coaches that weren't even nominated for the award, and I was a little surprised. Shane Steichen of the Colts and Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins. They weren't even up for the award. I
yeah,
don't really
that's
understand that.
surprising. That's surprising,
But
dude. Shane Steichen. I mean, this Colts team uh went through so much adversity, so many different things going on with them. To starting out without their star running back for part of the year, and then next thing you know, their first round quarterback gets injured out for the whole year, and I mean
And he was playing good, man. He was
yeah,
playing
yeah,
real good.
and they
Big AR
still
15.
and they still rallied. They won games. Michael Pittman played great. Uh, Gardner Minshew played great.
yeah, made it
I
to the Pro
mean,
Bowl.
yeah, honestly, amazing. Honestly, he should have been nominated. Mike
And
McDaniel's,
and
I'd give a
and
case to him too.
obviously Jonathan Taylor made a big
Oh, of
difference
course.
once he came back.
Oh, once he came back, he was a beast, man. I mean, he's always been a beast. That guy's
Yeah,
he's different,
absolutely.
man. I
And then
think
for
personally, it should have gone to Dan Campbell, is what I'd say. But
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like all things
And
considered, Dan
then
Campbell definitely should have won it.
yeah. And then for comeback player of the year, we said this. Oscar and I mean Mark and I, we both said this.
yeah,
Oscar, I appreciate your Baker Mayfield take. It was
yeah,
good.
I liked
It's
it.
not
I
bad.
liked it.
It's good. But I think it definitely should have gone to Joe Flacco. I agree with this. I mean the Damar Hamlin talk, like, I'm not gonna lie. NFL,
I said
thank
it
you.
back. I said it back
Thank you.
then. I
Thank
know.
you for not. Damar Hamlin
Yeah,
would have been.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, hold on. Let me say
Well,
this real quick. Let me
I
say this
said
real
it.
quick,
Wait,
if I may.
Mark,
You
one
may.
second. I'll just
Okay,
take 1 second.
you good, you good.
I said it back then, and I'll repeat it now when I made my prediction about the Baker Mayfield should have won comeback player of the year. I said it. I know it's a regular season award, but I said it back then. The playoffs are gonna validate my opinions, and I think they did. I'll leave
Oh
it
yeah,
at
when
that.
he threw an interception with the game on the line. Okay, makes perfect sense.
Elaborate,
Okay,
Look,
Mark.
please.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to hear your take.
So let me just say this. Damar Hamlin played 2 snaps this whole year.
That's
This
not true.
guy,
I hate pity awards. I
this
hate it.
this guy, this guy respawned. This guy, you don't. This guy
This
isn't.
man was drinking
This
bourbon
isn't.
on
This isn't
Tuesdays in his
respawned
couch
player of
drinking
the year. This isn't
Frank.
rebooted player of the year. This guy didn't just clutch up in the gulag, came back to life. This guy wasn't just rebooted in a Fortnite. No, I get it. This guy like basically died on the field. I get it. All right. No one wants to be in a situation like that, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. But he didn't do shit.
And
So
then you
there's
have
no
Joe
way.
Flacco, who was dropping off his 26 kids at Foggy Bottom Elementary School while playing like ranked Rocket League games, and then he has to get off the couch and carry a team like that. Like, and
That right there,
yeah.
because he came back. He came back from being from a father figure to from his kids, leaving his wife to leading this team to success. I don't care if I heard anyone give a Damar Hamlin take at all, comeback player of the year, this comeback player of that, bro. I don't care. I
It's
do
just
not
the
care.
definition of
Brody
handouts.
died, respawned, and came back, played a few games, bing bada boom. Wow,
That's it.
he's the
And
comeback player of the year.
award for that.
It's all political.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
just pleasantly
in
surprised that the NFL did not stick to the political aspect of it and
Thank
just
God. They,
gave it
they
to
they went
DeMar. That
off the
they
script.
actually used their
Roger,
heads and
Roger.
watched the games and realized
well, well, I
that
mean,
was right.
all respects to DeMar Hamlin. That what he did was incredible coming back from that. But yeah, I agree. The guy didn't play much. I don't think he should have been considered for the award. Maybe for a philanthropic award. I know they give out a lot of those during Super Bowl week now, um, where they give like
I'd give
something player of the year, where they do like a philanthropic award. Maybe you could give that one to him. I feel like he's done a lot with the Damar Hamlin Foundation this last year and
the
helped a
Walter
lot.
Payton.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
he's
that
done
went to Cameron Hayward.
the Walter Payton Award. Yeah, maybe he could have won that one. Did a lot of good in Buffalo and in Cincinnati, actually. So when you talk about things like that, maybe yeah, sure, you could mention
Look,
Damar Hamlin's
He's
name,
a
but
great
no.
guy. Great guy
props.
for Walter
He's a
Payton.
great guy, but
Great
man,
guy.
we
Wrong
have to
award.
give props to the medical team that pushed through, helped him throughout all this unforeseen circumstances, because honestly, without the medical staff that he was assisted by, without all these doctors and cardiologists and all these surgeons and everything, this guy, I mean,
He
this
could
should be
have
a
died.
heartbreaking
Yeah,
story to talk about.
Yeah.
It would be a heartbreaking story,
but
and there would be
But
changing
back to
NFL.
the context of the award,
but
comeback
I
player implies
Come
that
back.
you came back, and he
Yeah,
didn't. He showed up. He didn't come back.
yeah, he
you
was
know
like,
what,
yo, what's up, guys? Respawned
that
out here. You already know.
that was worded perfectly, Marco. I love that. But to go on to what Colin was saying earlier, where he gave me a little quip about my pick. Yes, I believe Baker Mayfield should have won the award. I think it is true, and I think the playoffs validated my ideas. Baker Mayfield led the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home against the Philadelphia Eagles and won his game. And yes, he might have thrown an interception at the very end of the game, but that was still a somewhat pretty closely contested game versus the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Whereas Joe Flacco, I mean, in the last 3 or 4 drives of his game versus Houston was just
I mean,
Yeah,
abysmal.
but
didn't he
luckily
throw
for
two
us, the
picks?
playoffs are not involved in the award
Yeah,
choosing.
yeah,
Yep.
So
yeah. I
there,
know,
there
but
you go.
I want to be like Joe Flacco, man. I want to be like Joe
Me too,
Flacco.
bro. Me too.
I want to be sitting on my couch that is literally right here, watching Too Hot to Handle on Netflix, okay, and then getting a call from the Miami Dolphins saying, hey Mark, we need you back, man. We need our starting left bench back, bro." I'll be running right back there. I want to win comeback player of the year. I will keep that bench warm. I will water my boys to the right and to my left. I do not care. I deserve that award.
Okay.
I will even hand them the surface and be like, "Yo, this is what you did wrong on this play." I'll be like an analyst. I'll even give me a headset. I'll start calling plays.
Oh
All right,
no.
let's go.
oh
Let's go.
god,
Hitch
That's why the
12.
oh no. And that's why the Dolphins are never gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They got a
All
new
right.
homie in
Well,
town.
speaking of the Super Bowl, we now go into the last part of the podcast. Super Bowl Sunday is tomorrow, boys. And we got the Chiefs, we got the 49ers. Last game of the season. So
Yep.
disappointing. We don't have any more excuses on Sunday. Like, oh,
This is
I have
so
to watch
sad.
the
I
football.
Worst time of the
So
year.
it's
I love the Super Bowl, but man, I hate it because I know after that it's gonna be a. It's been a long day without you, my friend.
okay.
This is so sad.
well, anyway, um, I think it's gonna be a great game. I think it's gonna be pretty low scoring. I think the defenses are gonna show
Yeah,
up.
I think so
Uh,
too.
I don't think it's gonna be a very high-powered offensive type of day.
No, I don't think so.
Uh,
Interesting.
but it's gonna be a great game. What do you guys think?
Really, I don't think so. I think we're gonna have a mid-scoring game. I mean, these are two very good defense, but just when we talk about the caliber of players that we're dealing with on offense here, it's a little bit insane, man. You got
Hey, why don't we
arguably, I personally don't think so. Arguably the best quarterback tight end duo of all time, and you know that insane monster offense that is the San Francisco 49ers, especially when all things are clicking. I mean, don't get me wrong, these defenses are great on both sides. Kansas City's defense is leading the way for them, And San Fran's defense is just scary on paper. Like, just the names on there are crazy. You got Warner, Bosa, Chase Young. Their
Stacked.
cornerbacks are also insane. So
Illegally stacked.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I
I
think
just
the
think
offense is just going to be a little bit better than the defense, and we're going to have a mid-scoring game, something like 24-28. I don't know.
Oh, hey,
yeah.
why don't we give our
Well, that's
prediction
what we're
and
gonna
then
do.
a score, like a score prediction?
Well, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I
Oh,
just
all
wanted
right.
to talk about it first.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I just think that the Chiefs' defense currently, at this very moment, the Chiefs have the best defense in the entire league. And so I think if Brock Purdy's not clicking, he's not going to perform as good as he actually is.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's going to be pretty low scoring. And then you saw in the AFC Championship game, the Chiefs did not score a single point in the second
In
half.
the
I feel
second
like
half.
the
Yeah,
type of
that's
game it's going to be like that.
it's gonna be the type of game where there's gonna be points where the defenses are gonna thrive, and points where just some amazing explosive plays happen. I think there's gonna be the bowl where we might see a 75-yard touchdown or something like that. Something insanity. Uh, because at one point, I mean, it's not gonna. There's no way this bowl stays under 10 points for each guys. I don't think so.
Well,
But
I'm not that little,
I
but
mean, it's not going to
uh,
be LA Patriots 2018.
yeah. But
That's
I
for
mean,
sure. But
it's I mean, it could because those teams both had great defenses, and I mean, I'd rather not see something like that. But I'm excited to see what Brock Purdy will do against this defense that has just thrived and has just really built up throughout the year. But then also Mahomes with this elite defense playing against them, and I'm curious how the receivers are gonna do. I mean, I'm really curious.
how
Rasheed
about
Rice, Kadarius
how
Toney.
how about we do? Here's a proposition, boys. We do. Who do we think's going to win? Winners. We go score and Super Bowl MVP.
all right,
Okay, yeah.
let's run it. Mark, start us off. What do you think?
All right, yeah. So, my winner I'm gonna take is the San Francisco 49ers.
Mhm.
Score, I think I'm going to give it a score of 27-21, and I'm gonna give the MVP to Christian McCaffrey.
Interesting. I'm writing this down, so we'll come back to it next week.
So you think they're going to miss an extra point?
Oh,
Uh,
there can be field
yeah,
goals in there. Field
there's
goals would
there
make
could
a
be field
difference.
goals or
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
there's
Yeah, I
something.
see. All right.
Well, Oscar.
Go for. Oh, you want me to go? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'll stick to my original prediction. I'll go San Francisco 49ers. They're going to win 28-24 over the Chiefs. Um, I think the Chiefs are going to be up at the end. Specifically, it's going to be 21-24. The Chiefs are up by a field goal, and either Debo Samuel makes an absolutely crazy play or George Kittle does, and they find the end zone. I think. Wait, did you give your Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Christian McCaffrey, man. I mean, if the
Yeah.
Niners win,
Yeah.
it's because they ran that ball, and
And I
CMC is
hope
gonna
so.
have yeah.
I've been a
CMC is gonna
CMC
have
fan
a
since day one. I'll tell you that for sure.
Super Bowl MVP, and he'll be hands down the best. I mean, he already is, but hands down, no questions asked, the best running back in the league.
Oh, absolutely.
hmm Marco, what do you think is gonna happen?
Yeah, so quick comments before
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited for this game. Should be a good game. Again, not my biggest viewership in football in recent years, but I'm a fan of both teams. Not really. Just kidding. I absolutely hate the Kansas City Chiefs for the pain and suffering they have caused me this season. I am a complete and utter opposer of Mrs. Swift and her agenda within the NFL.
This is this Taylor Swift bowl, bro. Honestly.
I think it needs to stop. However,
Just embrace it, Marco. The sooner you embrace it, the sooner your pain will be relieved.
I believe so. I think that's the ibuprofen I need right now. However, I will say that I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs getting the job done.
You
yet
think the
again.
script writers got
I don't know about the script writers.
a
but I think
back-to-back champ
I'll
in the
never
play?
count out Patrick Mahomes and the
Yeah,
Kansas
man,
City
that's
Chiefs.
scary. I agree with you. That could be scary, man.
I want to be an optimist. I really do like that San Francisco defense. I mean, you just have absolute headhunters. Like the first name that comes to mind is Wagner. He is just an absolute dog. You have Bosa. I mean, it's a melting pot of talent there. I really don't think, in my personal opinion, I love the kid. I think he's great. I love that he's living with roommates in rural San Francisco. I think that's how you build character. But I just don't think that Brock Purdy is going to be able to get the job done um, in the limelight in Allegiant Stadium in this fashion. I think the
Wow.
Chiefs got it close, 17-14. I don't think it's going to be very high scoring. I feel like it's going to be a 14-14, 2-2, two scores to two scores type of affair. And then Harrison Butker is going to get him over the edge. Not in a game-winning fashion, but closer to the end. I think in this I think both scores are going to be Travis Kelce. I'm going to say Travis Kelce MVP of this game.
I would love to
Very
see that.
interesting. You would love to see that.
Yeah, okay. If the Chiefs won, I don't want Mahomes to be the MVP, bro. Like, I don't.
Yeah, but he is though. It's
I
Patrick
know, but it's
Mahomes.
like, this is Mahomo.
Yeah.
Colin, what about you, man?
All right, so I'm going with a very similar route to Marco. I got the Chiefs winning. At the beginning of the year, at the beginning when we started predicting the playoffs, I had
Colin,
Ravens
man, you're a flip
Niners.
flopper. You're a flip flopper. Man.
No, I am the
Last week you had the San Francisco 49ers winning last week.
Because I had them playing the
This guy
Ravens.
plays the Texas Hold'em.
No, last week we did a pod where we already knew
This
the
guy
Super
plays
Bowl.
the man. He doesn't play the cards.
This guy is a pre-flop better for sure when he plays poker, dude.
He
Bro,
gets
his
his martinis shaken, never stirred, like James Bond.
Oh my god.
Okay,
That
Colin,
makes absolutely no sense.
talk
No,
to me.
Oscar, we did not talk about the Super Bowl last episode, so I don't know what
Hey
you're
man,
talking about.
run it back. Yes, we did.
No, we
What's
didn't.
the ticket?
But see, at the beginning, I had Ravens Niners, and then I had the Niners winning. But because the Chiefs are playing in the Super Bowl, and their offense seems to be back, and they have Patrick Mahomes,
Their
they
offense
can't
is not
lose this
bad.
game. Their offense is not back.
Colin, what
They didn't
happens
score in the second half of the.
Colin, what
They didn't score in
happens
the
when?
second, and they're facing a better defense now, bro.
No, calm down.
No, sir,
Calm
no,
down,
sir.
Calm down.
Oye,
Calm down.
papi. Relájate.
Oye,
It's top-
papi, esto
it's-
mi opiniono.
Their defense is top 3 for sure. San Francisco. Actually, I think these are the 3 best defensive teams in the league. Was the Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, and the San Francisco 49ers. But
Yep.
yeah, I think it's in that order. It goes Ravens, Chiefs, Niners.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think, Colin, to kind of counteract what you're saying, man, what happens when the Kansas City receivers get a case of the dropsies?
They
Oh,
haven't.
no.
They have not had the
Oh,
case
no,
of the
mommy, I'm
dropsies.
sick.
That's
I
why
have
I'm
a case
saying-
of the
that's why I'm saying
dropsies.
No.
Travis Kelce is going to have a double-digit
Butterfingers.
reception game because Travis knows. He's going to tell in the huddle, you know what's going to happen? They're going to
Mhm.
say, all of you, every single one of you other scrubs, just let Travis have it because you guys haven't shown us enough.
He
You
wants
can
to
hold on
propose real bad. I think it's what's gonna happen. If they win, he proposes. If they lose, ain't no way.
There
they're
is
gonna
no
propose.
way.
He's gonna
There
have
is
like
no way.
I think Travis Kelce's gonna have a crazy stat line. He's gonna have like 12 catches. He's gonna have like I don't even know.
12 catches.
12 catches is crazy. I actually can
Alright,
see
look,
it though. I'm
look.
not gonna lie.
Let me explain. We were talking earlier when we were talking about basketball, how the Heat, how the Knicks, like they never perform in the playoffs, and how the Heat always perform in the playoffs. The Chiefs are exactly like the Miami Heat of the NFL. Here's why.
Please don't say
They-
that.
Oh, it's 100% true.
No,
It is
you
100.
know that's
Yes,
not
it is.
That
true.
is
Patrick-
crazy.
Yes.
Patrick
yes.
Mahomes is not like Jimmy Butler. Patrick Mahomes is.
I'm not
arguably-
talking about Patrick Mahomes right now. I'm talking about his receivers because that's what you wanted to bring up. So I'm going to talk about it. The Chiefs receivers cannot catch a football for their lives in the regular
That's
season.
a bad
I'm in.
comparison.
The
Amen.
the playoffs come around. They start playing. They beat the Dolphins. They beat the Bills. How did they beat the Ravens last week? Mahomes threw a 30, 40-yard bomb to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who literally could not catch a pass for his life, and he caught in the game-clinching pass to send his team to the Super Bowl. His players around him
In the first
stepped up in the
half.
playoffs.
In the first half. They didn't.
What
do-
about the first half?
They didn't do jack in the second half. They couldn't score in the second half.
I'm talking about the last play of the game to Marcus Valdez-Scantling that sealed them the win.
Yeah, I know, but still,
Okay,
like,
that's what I'm talking about.
it doesn't matter.
So
All they did was score in the first half. The only reason the Chiefs won that game was because they know how to execute and not shoot themselves in the foot.
thank
The
you.
rate,
Thank you for
the
proving my point.
no,
Thank you,
no,
Oscar.
I'm not
Hence why
proving
they're
your
gonna win
point.
the bowl.
Yes, you are.
I'm not, and I'm telling you why.
Their
Because
entire team
no,
steps up in the playoffs.
that's not what I said. I said they can execute and not shoot themselves in the foot. The Ravens shot themselves in the foot because the Ravens were in prime position to win that game. And had they known how to execute and not shoot themselves in the foot, the Ravens would have probably won that game. But they didn't because the Chiefs have experience in the
Because it's the
playoffs.
playoffs. Hey, thank
Okay.
you. You just said it. They have experience in the playoffs. That's all I need
But
to hear.
so
Okay, guys.
no.
Just really
Colin,
don't
you
see
can't do that
anybody
because
winning the
second of
Chiefs.
all,
What? That's my
Colin,
entire point.
okay, but
If for
San
some reason-
Francisco also has experience in the playoffs, and the only reason they lost last year in the NFC Championship was because two of their quarterbacks got hurt, and that game was still close. You had CMC throwing passes as a quarterback in last year's NFC Championship game. The
Look.
49ers could have easily been last year's.
That's why the Lions
Super
should have
Bowl
made it to the
winners.
bowl.
if it was allowed for some reason that two teams from the same conference can play each other, and this was a Chiefs Dolphins Super Bowl, I would still pick the Chiefs, and I will die on the Dolphins. So that just shows how much trust I have in Patruco Mahomo en este
Patruco.
juego del Super Bowl, bro.
Patruco Mahomo.
Porque me consta que
Mahomo.
every year this guy's in the Super Bowl, and more often than not, I'm not a math guy, but he wins most of the time that he's there. So
Well, I
I'm
think
gonna
he's.
go on
I
the
think he's
statistics.
split. I think he's split right now.
No,
though.
he's 2-1 in the Super Bowl, and he's about to be 3-1.
Oh,
because
okay,
the
Look,
Chiefs-
look. Who's the better driver? Who's better driving down the field? Patrick Mahomes or Mahomes' dad?
The Chiefs are going to win the game 24-17. Mahomes is going to win Super Bowl MVP.
Mark, what
And
are you
Mahomes'
talking about?
dad-
Joe Burrow
Mahomes
is
is-
not in the Super Bowl.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my god. I was talking about his actual dad who got written up like a DUI for driving under the influence for the 5th time.
Yeah.
But man, that was a good one. Pound it.
Why can't 50-something-year-olds get lit and still get behind the wheel? Come on. We can't just reserve that that felony for college kids anymore. Let Patrick Mahomes the first do what he want to do. Anyway,
Well,
I don't care how reckless he is. He created a hell of a son, and he's gonna get it.
Arguably top 3 nutsacks of all time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, in the least.
no, Jackson Mahomes should no.
Jackson
Y'all forgot about
Jackson Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Jackson Mahomes. Bro, he's literally Mahomo. He literally is Mahomo.
Y'all, you can't say that about Patrick Mahomes Sr. when he gave birth to Jackson Mahomes.
Look,
Bro, he gave birth to the biggest disgrace of our generation, bro.
This is like age-old principle. You can only have one best nut ever, and that was he wasted it on Patrick Mahomes. And not wasted, he used it well. Jackson, there just wasn't enough. I mean, he used up all the greatness on one nut, so the other,
He did the wrong combo. He did the wrong combo. You know what
Bro,
I'm saying?
no. You know what he should have done?
He pressed XXYA when it should have been XXYYA. You know, he pressed the wrong button.
He should have pulled out, bro.
God was doing the pouring, and he went like,
Whoops.
Bro, he
Oh my
should have pulled
God.
out. Let's be so.
All right,
bro.
let's stop.
There is
let's
no
stop.
way
Come
he
on,
should have
come on,
pulled out,
come
bro.
on.
Come on, calm down.
Come on.
Bro,
All right.
how do you go from
anyway-
Patrick?
Oh my God. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Super Bowl. It's going to be a great matchup. Very excited to look forward to it on February 11th in
yeah.
Las Vegas, Nevada. So
just remember, I know ball. I can predict football games. Niners are
Just
winning.
remember, go Ore Diggers. Happy
See,
150th
I would
birthday.
agree with Oscar, but he did not pull out the upset alert, so he's going to be wrong. Okay. So
It's not an upset. These two teams are in the Super Bowl. They're great teams. There's no upset to be had.
Yeah, but if you had said Oscar's upset alert, Niners are winning.
when he needs to come out.
Yeah, the upset alert only comes out for upsets. This
Bro,
is
the
not an upset if
The
either
upset
team
alert
wins.
is so infamous.
Yeah, but
I
we
mean,
all know that you only get the picks right if it's upset alert. So there
Okay.
you go.
Are you?
There you go.
That's not true. I predicted the playoffs. Besides the wild card round, for the most part, besides the wild card round, I got all my picks right. and I never used an upset alert.
Hey man. Hey man.
Hey.
Hey man. Hey man. Mark, take us away, buddy.
Well, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in. It's always a good one when we have the whole crew here. We hope you guys enjoy the Super Bowl weekend. Go Chiefs, go Niners, go to their fan base. Congratulations. And we just want to wish you all a wonderful Get It Right Saturday night. And we'll see you guys next week. Pound it, noggin. See ya.
Patrick
Have a
Mahomes'
good
life
one,
motto
guys.
is ribcage.
Take care of yourselves and take
And
care
the
of each other.
Lions still lost.
Bro, you got that dog in him.